Hi. So, according to the Gregorian calendar, it's a new year. Of course, with the ending of cycles, I've been thinking about what 2023 taught me. It is the 31st of December 2023, day before 2024. I came here to see the sunset, but also to think a little bit about and reflect on the year that I've had and on what the year has taught me. 2023 was a hard year for a lot of people, and if you follow numerology, you will know that it was a year 7, and so we know with year sevens, it's about the inward journey. It's the number of God, of the Creator, of the Most High. So it calls us towards ourselves. It calls us to ask deeper questions. It calls us to step closer to ourselves. And it calls us to transform, to put down what is no longer necessary, that we no longer need. Although during the course of that, one might not even realize what is happening. It's only in reflection that you're like, oh, okay, this is what I've been going through. So for me, like I think many people, 2023, I was in the desert. It started off well, and then there was a window around March where, the energies were really high as we continue to transform as a humanity. But then, as the year went on, we were kind of pulled into the space that was so confronting. And I found that I could no longer run. There are times where you think you're doing the work. You can do the things that you need to do to ask the deeper questions, or, look at your shadow, face what you're confronted with. But then there is a time when it's like, sit down, look. And you're like, but what am I looking at? Don't ask questions. Just sit here, even if it might be dark, or even if it might sound like there's crazy noise going on in the background, whatever it might be, sit down. I don't know. Okay, fine, I'll sit down. But what am I looking out for? What is the work? What is the thing? What am I looking at in the shadows? What But you just cannot discern what it is you're being shown. And what I found was that it was the Great Spirit simply saying, Mamela, listen. And it took me a while to finally stop and listen, because as I was being asked to stop and listen, I was fighting even harder to make sense of my life, to hold on to the things that I was trying to build, even though I could tell that it wasn't quite working, even though I got instructions to look the other way. I insisted on looking at the things and focusing on the things that I thought mattered, that would sustain me, that would bring the money, that would bring the ones that we think make sense, right? Career is usually the thing, work, money. Until I completely surrendered, because through my not listening, things kind of stalled, things were starting to fall apart. And I really started to realize that I was in the desert. My bank account balance was going down and down. My ability to create and to sustain my business as a guide, as a healer, was just impossible at some point. That was when I realized that, oh, I am under the impression that I am in control. And I say that I believe in a creator bigger than myself. I understand where it is that I come from. Yeah, that I listen, that I can hear, that I'm a child who listens. And then I found that I actually, in fact, did not have the faith and trust in the Most High like I thought I did, like I believed I did. I began to understand that I was being stripped bare of all the distortions within myself, all the lies that I was spinning and telling myself. I was being made to humble myself, to sit in the silence, to be okay with the overwhelming energy of not knowing what the next step is, what the future holds, what the gifts are supposed to translate into, because we cannot know these things. And though we can convince ourselves that we do, we don't know exactly how the Most High intends for our gifts to be translated in this life. We can think we can control it, we control it, but really we don't. But really we don't. There are things we can control that allow us to see ourselves more clearly, to see the path more clearly, like our actions, which, I also was so much more confronted with this year, how I treat myself. And because of how I treat myself, how I treat others, the tone of my voice when I speak to others, the honesty of my teachings in accordance to my actions and my daily practices and the way I actually live my life. It was like a stark kind of loud confrontation of, but are you the thing that you say you are? Those are the things that reveal ourselves to ourselves, the way, our purpose, our gifts, our essence, our soul, and who we are. And the more honest we are with those things, then the clearer the map becomes that we need to navigate the way forward. When I get some of this light from the sunset, let me share the sky with you. It's been one of the hardest ones since 2016. I was forced to look at my relationships. I was forced to look at the deeper intricacies of my own family dynamics, the character that I've played within my life, within the home, within the family. And because of the character that I took on, some of the distortions I created within myself, some of the things I took on that weren't mine. And because of the roles we play, sometimes we justify certain choices and behaviors because no, it's family, or no, but I really needed to understand what was okay and what wasn't, what was distorted and what wasn't. And in the end, I realized that I was taking on so much of what wasn't even mine to carry. It's not for us to carry because it's God's, right? It reminded me of these change me prayers that speak about change me, Great Spirit, change me, God, to one who trusts that everything is aligned, everything is working out, and that the Creator is designing it all intricately. Not for me to worry about it, like, Father, Mother, God's got it, they've got it. And I'm the one that just needs to kind of allow my faith to grow. We get so offended and we even panic sometimes when things don't look the way that the world says they should look. If we don't have a certain amount of money in our bank accounts, or we don't have certain relationships at a certain point, and maybe our friendships don't look like what the movies or what other people's relationships look like. Those on the liminal path, the so-called chosen ones, and I say chosen ones, but we are all chosen. It's just that not everyone answers to the call. But those who do answer, those with certain mandates in the world, those on the narrow path, those who know what it's like to be in the desert for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. We can panic and believe that we are less than, because in terms of the world standards, we are not anything worthwhile. Meanwhile, all along, we are being prepared for what we have come to lay down in this world. And sometimes that takes complete stripping away, to be bare so you can hear the silence, so you can know and learn how to kneel before the Great Spirit. We are being taught not to put our complete trust, not that trust within relationship isn't valuable, but sometimes even against our better judgment, we put trust on people or things above the source in which we have come. And in our being stripped naked, we are being reminded of who we really are, despite what our bank accounts might be, despite what material possessions we might have, despite what our friendship circles look like, despite the fact that we might not have the divine partner or the romantic relationship that we've been praying for. 2023 taught me to have faith and to exercise my faith and to believe, to truly believe that I am held, even though I might not know what that feels like, because maybe some of us don't feel that we've ever really been held completely and seen. And so we come before the Lord, or we come before our guardian angels or our ancestors from a place of lack, believing that those support us will disappoint us like many others did, or hurt us like many others did or have, when that is beyond what is true. That is just not true at all. And so, yeah, I was taught that I am loved. I am loved even when I didn't believe it, even when I wanted things to go my way or to end or to give up or whatever it was, I remained loved. And I was being called forth. I was being called towards this place, towards the source, towards the water, towards the source, towards the well. The desert was showing me what it is that I really thirst for. And what I really thirst for is beyond possessions. It's beyond the flesh. It's beyond my bank account. It's beyond how my identity is perceived as within the world. I was shown myself. I was shown my maker, and I still am being shown. And within that, I was set free. There's an umbilical cord that connects me to the womb of my mother, and through that portal there's an umbilical cord, a silver cord, that connects us towards the Creator, the source from which we came before we came into this realm. And there's an urgency in us remembering what that is and reconnecting with that. That's what I learned. And I'm looking forward to 2024, which is going to be a year 8. The number 8 is considered the number of money and power. But the true crux of the 8 is about balance. It is often associated with wealth, influence, and power. And some say that universal years are usually years that are made for legends. It holds the energy of ambition, strength, and infinite capabilities. It also does have its challenges, but it's also important that within that, it's just an opportunity for growth. I know that it's going to be far better than the year that we've come from. But like with anything, if you interrogate the process, you will be shown why it is that you're being walked through it. So walk through it. Trust it. Even if your bank account is stripped bare, trust that everything is happening for a reason. It's sewing you, it's building you, it's revealing your character to you. It's like being chiseled, it's alchemy. Greater is him that is in me than is in the world. I learned to stop being afraid to use the word God this year, or the Creator, or the Most High, or the Divine Spirit, because this world has taught us to be afraid of the most sacred essence of who we are and where we've come from, when the reality is that is who we are. And there is no shame in loving who we are and in expressing that. Why would you be embarrassed of home? I think I'll leave it there. I love you. I wish you the best this year. Surrender. Embrace yourself wherever you might be, because you are writing the book of your life, and sometimes you just start at a sentence. The sentence isn't even all spelled out yet. So just be patient and let it unfold. It will reveal itself to you. The gift of who you are, the gift of the journey you've chosen. Live it sincerely, live it fully. Don't worry so much what other people think. It's about what you know of yourself to be true. Even when you're on your knees, even when your mouth and knees might be ashy because you're so hungry, or you're so kind of depleted from walking through this desert. Even then you have value. Even then you have something to teach. My name is Vuyi, and thank you for spending time in my secret garden. I look forward to continuing to walk with you this year. If you've been here for a while, and if it's your first time here, welcome. Thank you for being here as each of us try to figure it out and blossom and unfold together. Happy! I'll see you soon.